Hi Aries, welcome to your May 2019 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So Aries, this is going to be a month where if you don't have more money in your pocket by the end of the month, don't come crying to me because I won't know what to tell you. This is a very good and emphatic money month for you. And the activity is especially in the second house of earned income. There are two money houses in the astrological chart. The second house, which is the money that you earn, although I would just kind of keep it a little bit looser than that because I have experienced receiving money that I did not earn when Jupiter was in the second house, transiting the second house. Okay. And then there is the eighth house, which is the money that is shared resources. So your spouse's money that you benefit from, inheritances and things of that nature. So it's the money that you don't earn. And it also can be loans and debt and things like that. So both of these houses will see action, but especially the second house. As we begin the month, the sun is there. And the sun gives a sense of pride. Okay, that's kind of like what it represents. And we are looking at what we're earning and we're reflecting upon it in terms of how it is enhancing our sense of self. When I shouldn't say reflecting so much as emphasizing it in our life. And this can lead, obviously, to want more of it if that is an issue for you. For some people, this can be a time of feeling great positivity about money. Even if you don't have it right now, you may be reading books that talk about it, especially a few days after the month begins. I'll get into that when Mercury is there, because Mercury is the mind. So anything that is money related, like reading books about money and stuff like that, I could see having that influence of Mercury in the second house. So I want to say too, your ruler, Mars, as the month begins, is in the third house in the sign of Gemini. So there's like this burning desire. That's what I never characterize Mars like that, but I like that, saying burning desire. For you to be communicating, for you to be doing intellectual things. The third house is an intellectual house, the house that Gemini rules. It's really easy to do Aries monthly updates because you are the template for the universal chart. So whenever a transit happens, I know exactly, I don't have to figure it out in my head because I know exactly where everything is. If you heard that noise, my bag of organic carrots from Trader Joe's just fell on the ground. So anyway, Mars in the third, if you have had some notion, Aries, of doing vlogging or internet-based activities that involve you writing, blogging, I guess is writing, but vlogging and YouTube channeling, or what else? Anything, maybe taking a course, a training course. And there's almost like something to do with dexterity, because the third house, since it's ruled by Gemini and since you are the template, it's going to have that very strong Gemini feel to it. And it's almost like when I think of Mars, I think of something physical, the physicality of something. So doing something that takes a lot of dexterity. So I don't know what kind of training that would be. Maybe if you are training to be a carpenter, I know that might be coming out of left field for a lot of viewers, but I don't know what else to say. Things that involve having to use your fine motor skills. So what else could that be, unless you're learning how to do like a keyboard? Do people learn how to properly type these days? That was the only thing that I pretty much learned in high school was how to type on a typewriter correctly, with all the proper placements. And my fingers really fly, but I mean, that's because I don't hunt and peck. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things. But anyway, any kind of training that is not connected to a university, perhaps, or if it is more like community college where you get a certificate for something. Maybe it's like electrician or a plumber. I don't know. I know these sound kind of like out of left field. But there's things along those lines. And then on the 4th of the month, we have a new moon in that second house in Taurus, 14 degrees of Taurus. So this could be like a new income stream for you, perhaps. Maybe it is based on something that is from the internet. By the way, if you hear some kids out there, it's because they're coming in from school. I thought they were on spring break. I live in the Chicago area, and it's like I happen to live in the suburbs, but there are people from all these different school districts, and they're all off at different times. So you never know who's going to be off when. So yeah, something new, a new beginning that has to do with the money that you make. Or if you are somebody who, Aries, has been struggling with self-esteem. I can't imagine that many of you would be in that place. It would possibly be that you are maybe you're gaining new insights, you feel better about yourself, and that would be very cool if that's the case. On the 6th, Mercury goes into Taurus, so Mercury heads into that second house. So for the first 6 days, you have Aries, you have Mercury in your sign, and that makes you quite outspoken. Not that you need to have Mercury in your sign in order to be like that, but that should be interesting for you. But then it goes into your second house, and Mercury in the second house can be very thoughtful and come up with analytical analysis about how to do this money thing. Because you really are kind of, you're in this direction for whatever reason of wanting to make money, and it's really great. You're coming up with ideas, and you're going to put them into action. I feel like you did have a period of time when you were like really hustling because you had Mars in that house not too long ago. And now you're kind of maybe reaping the harvest to some degree, but still putting your attention on this. And on the 15th, we have Venus going into Taurus. I want to make sure about this, if this was when Mars goes into, yeah. I completely eliminated Mars from a few of the readings that I've already posted, and I'm not going to take them down, but I was thinking of you because that's your ruler. So on the 15th, Venus goes into Taurus in that second house, the house that it rules, which is awesome. So hopefully, at least by then, you might be seeing the fruit of your labor, or fruits of your labor. And on the same day, Mars goes into Cancer. Your ruler goes into Cancer, which is your 4th house of home and family. So one thing I didn't say about the 3rd house is that it is also the house of siblings and cousins, and I think aunts and uncles. So it can be as your siblings, brothers and sisters, or extended family members. And then it goes into the 4th house, which can be your mother. Some astrologers believe it's the father. I don't see that. I think the 10th house is the father. But it's also can be just the family of origin in general, the childhood and the real estate matters. But this could be a situation where the 3rd house is also neighbors. So if there's any conflict with this as the month begins, this could, ratchet it up where you decide, if you have a dispute with a neighbor, you might decide, I'm going to add some kind of something to my property so that I can block out the neighbors somehow. So Mars can be like some kind of physical overhaul or something that you're doing vigorous to your house, to your home. And maybe something connected to your property, like putting up a big fence or something like that, if you're having problems with your neighbors. But this could be your family of origin, first with the siblings and then with the mother. And Mars can be conflict. So you may be arguing about something that you feel you deserve. And actually, this is evidenced by the full moon on the 18th of May. I think this is called the full flower moon. And I was noting that these are names given by North American tribes, to North American Native American tribes, to describe the time of year and what it represents. These different full moons. But I was wondering, like in the southern hemisphere, like in Australia, if they could also be the full flower moon, in the sense that there are fall flowers too. So I don't know. But in any case, this is going to hit your 8th house. It's going to be at 27 degrees of Scorpio. So this could be an inheritance, okay? And as a result, there may be fighting that leads to a resolution around the 18th, or it could lead to a revelation. Secrets could come out. The 8th house is known for secrets, but you've got it in Scorpio. So it's always a double whammy when we talk about the transits that Aries are experiencing, because it is in its own house. And, so this could be something where you find out, you may have felt like there was something not quite right, and then it's all revealed that these people were trying to cut you out of a will or give you less, and then you're totally, everything becomes illuminated from this. This can be a time of realizing your own shadow, the 8th house, and being able to get a handle on that. And this, even though the 8th house does connect with money, if we look at it from the house of being transformation of the self, this could certainly be a time where you really find a missing piece of, what you need to feel better about yourself, feel more, how should I put it, whole. And that is through acknowledging the shadow, the part of you that you don't acknowledge, that you kind of cut off from the rest of you. And so that can bring something to your awareness on this level, and that can be very helpful psychologically. This is the psychological house. And then on the 21st, we have the Sun and Mercury going into Gemini. So they're going into that 3rd house. And they are very much about communication. Obviously, Mercury rules that house. So I do feel that that's the other piece to this, is that you are wanting to share something. Maybe it has something to do with your past, that you have had to deal with certain things in your life, and, the connection with family, the connection with your own transformation. It might be something that's fodder for you to write about. So this can be a very revealing month for you as well, Aries. I was starting off with the premise of it being rather of a material emphasis, but it can be very deep as well. So that's what I have for you, Aries. If you would like a natal chart interpretation, because this is a general forecast, and you would be absolutely floored if you knew how precise it gets. I mean, sometimes people don't know their exact time of birth, and we do it like within an hour because their mother told them certain parameters. And there's just so much different rising signs, different planets in different houses. It's just unreal. So when you have the exact time of birth, it's fascinating because you can really see how the template for your soul's growth in this lifetime. Check me out. I'm at rainandmoonastrology.com. The link is below. Have a great month. Take care. Bye.